Chicago with the lead. Court. Batista with the catch. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life. Hand down, man down.
Yeah, I can see how disrespectful he's being right now.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome back to a special edition of The Bounce, brought to you by Bite Size Sports. I am Kev, and with me, as always, is James. James, I got an easy early question to start with for you.
Oh boy.
We've been doing Wemby Watch for some time
Long
now.
time,
I mean, such a long time that it's just saved on my banners folder here. I can just pull it up just like that. This may be the final day of Wemby Watch because the consensus seems to be that whoever gets this number one pick is going Victor, and that's the only place they're going. So with that in mind, who do you want to see get the number one pick tonight?
So your top three odds, all tied at 14%. It's the Rockets, it's San Antonio, it's Detroit, right?
Yes.
That's right.
You said Rockets, Detroit, and San Antonio. That is correct.
Of that group, I want him to go to Detroit. I want him to play with Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham. Outside that group, I would love him to end up in Orlando. I think it'd be so much fun.
Orlando would be so much fun. Yeah, with all the young talent there. Did you see the Rob Perez put out a tweet that was every team's reaction or Twitter's reaction to every team winning? And for Orlando, it was rigged because it would be like, wow, for a team that never manages to be good, it's not for lack of high-level draft picks. The Orlando Magic continue to collect young talent. So that would be very interesting. For me, I wouldn't mind seeing him go to the Spurs, just because they've been the international team of the NBA for so long. So he would be kind of continuing.
Him with Pop too would be fun. That's fun. Like Pop's a hell of a coach. They're showing whoever he's got represented. I haven't looked at these, and it's interesting.
Brandon Roy representing the Blazers. Yeah. Shout out.
Just some are doing
gotta be
like current players, some are throwbacks, some GM GM's
new
front office.
and then the Rockets are sliding old the Riz God himself, Ime Udoka, out there.
I don't want him. Ben Wallace, my goodness, he's got some gray hair.
Welcome in chat. What's up, Michael? Sorry for the delay. We had some technical difficulties. We meant to be simulcasting this on Playback TV, but Playback, there were some technical difficulties. We couldn't get us both on the stage, so we'd rather be here hanging out with you guys, and we've got the feed off of camera here, so we'll have to you'll have to just hang out with us. Hopefully you've got access to the draft lottery on your own. But we are happy to talk with you all about it. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. So let us know in a comment who you want to see get this number one overall pick. And it looks like we're going to start getting some things rebled, I believe.
The last name's wrong. It is James's fault, but it's
Pelicans get 14. I blame James Harden. So the picks are coming in. Raptors get 13.
Sorry, Dave Griffin.
I can't wait to break this down. Now, we will hang out until at least right about 9 o'clock when the Necessary Roughness show starts. We'll talk about – we're not just going to say, oh, here are the draft picks. Goodbye. But no surprises yet. We've got Oklahoma at 12.
Oh, they would have been fun, too. Didn't think they had a real chance, but it would have been fun.
Absolutely. But it would – oh, okay, Orlando at 11.
Ugh.
But this is the Bulls pick. From the Vucevic trade.
Oh, yep.
Mavs get the 10th pick. Okay.
Which means, so they keep that pick. It had to be in the top 10. That's why they tanked that last game.
Pacers to the point, Nate says. Utah gets 9. So, okay. As a Pacers fan, I'm starting to feel good, baby. We did really well at 6 last year.
Jazz should have tanked more. It was dumb.
Yes, they should have. Jazz. Jazz should have tanked more. Wizards get the 8th pick. Oh my guys, I'm getting kind of excited here.
Okay, Kev, you're gonna get yourself too excited.
Oh, the Pacers get 7. It's fine. I was just about to say anything after 7, and we're winning. 6 and above. I'm so happy. 7.
Oh, they sent
Magic
Tyrese.
gets 6. Okay. Wow. Well, that final one here before we get to the top 4, we're in the top 5 at least.
Magic got 6 and 11. That's fun.
St. Louis Spirits.
A lot of talent.
The what? Did you see that?
Yep.
The Pistons are at 5. Oh
wow.
My God. Wow.
Portland's still alive.
Michael, just understand that the Pistons falling out. I don't even know how to. James, help me put that in NFL terms. What would that even be like? That'd be like the Texans somehow. It doesn't happen, right? Because we don't have a lottery like this.
So the lottery, Michael, is all percentages. In Detroit, 3 teams had a 14% chance of the first overall pick. But because Detroit had the worst record, they couldn't have worse than, I think that's the lowest they can pick is 5th.
Yeah.
So they got the worst possible position.
Agreed. Since and now we all get to take a break. We can breathe a little bit here. They're at commercial. So we can kind of digest what just happened, talk about it, and let's maybe respond to, this isn't a question from Nate. It's very much a statement, but the lottery is the stupidest thing ever. I do not disagree, at least at face value, to this take. What are your thoughts, James? Are you a fan of the lottery? Do you think this should just be done completely and just go, we know what happens if there's no lottery, then there's tanking's going to be an even bigger problem.
Because without a lottery, then we ran into so many issues because of teams tanking out. So I hate it because tanking is such a huge issue in the NBA, especially with a guy like Victor Wembanyama there. Like, you wanted to get him. Michael, the percentages, let's put this up here real quick so we can talk about this. The percentages are by record. So the worst record has the best percentages. So the worst 3 records all have a 14%. I want to see if I can screen share this, Kev, real quick before this pops up, because this is really
get
good.
After it.
Here we go.
Honestly, when it comes time for the final couple picks, I might pop.
There, you got. Can you see that, Kev? I've only got one screen going right now. Okay.
Yep, we can see the Tankathon, the odds here. Yep,
the odds. So Detroit had the worst record in the league. So the worst pick they could get was 5th, which they just got, that's a brutal. They don't even end up in the top 4, which is brutal. Houston has the second best chance at being in there. Houston, Detroit, San Antonio all had 14% chance. Where their pick could end up was dependent on their record. Houston had the second worst record. San Antonio had the 3rd worst. Charlotte 4th. Portland 5th. So still alive, right? We've got Houston, San Antonio, Charlotte, Portland. Is that it? Is that our 4?
Yep,
yeah, that's our 4.
That's our 4.
Man, that's
wow, man. So that's just shocking to have the Detroit Pistons fall.
I forgot about Portland. I wouldn't be mad because my disdain for Damian Lillard up there and not having no friends.
The disdain is for him not having any friends, not for Dame Lillard. Just because we got a lot of new viewers here. Yep. Welcome, by the way. We're happy to have you. Let us know in the chat what your thoughts are about the Pistons falling completely out of the top 4. Who would you like to see get that number 1 overall pick? We are taking all questions, including this one here from Nate. Yep. Who cares if they tank, to be honest? So, James, Nate says, I see your lottery take, and I counter with, who cares if they tank? So what are your thoughts?
I don't hate his theory. My counter argument is, if you tank in the NFL, it's not going to change you right away. Like, it's not instant. In the NBA, it can. You get LeBron or Victor Wembanyama or these guys, like, because there's only 5 guys on the court, it can change everything quick. So tanking becomes much more of an issue, much more prevalent because of that. And everything becomes magnified.
It's not a guarantee, but it is easier. And then Yeah, this Michael says I was typing angry paragraphs until
I didn't know that I came out wrong.
I had your back immediately. And Michael asked another question. It didn't pop up. There we go. Yeah, is that what happened? He said, in this Wembanyama, I believe you did spell that right. Good work. Fella is the second coming of Christ or what? So this is funny. James, in our new position in life, I don't know about you, but I am blessed to have people that reach out to me for our takes now directly. You know, it's like, you know, they subscribe to my text messages. They're like, hey, what's up with this So I got some NFL folks being like, what's up with this Wembanyama fella? Is he, because they heard, I think someone on ESPN today said that he was the best prospect in the history of sports. So now I got a bunch of people texting me being like, is this true? Is this real? And here's what I'll say about that. No, it's not my opinion. He's not the greatest prospect ever of all time.
I think, Kev, I'm going to say something I think you'll agree with, okay? I think he's the best NBA prospect since LeBron James.
Fair. I won't argue against that. But yeah, you know what? I think he's going to be a taller Kevin Garnett. Oh, but we are back. I'm going to come back to this Wembanyama thing in a second.
We're going.
But we are. Fourth pick goes to the Rockets. What?
Third
pick, Portland. I told you it's not going to Charlotte. This is going to the Spurs. I'm telling you.
Oh my God, they're really going to do it.
The Charlotte. I told you. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Look at sad Ime Udoka.
Run it back. They International Men of Mystery, the San Antonio Spurs, baby. Of course, it was always the Spurs. Oh, I can't wait to retweet / quote tweet that later.
Oh, the Spurs, whoever right out there is just freaking out. He's going nuts.
Wow. First number 1 overall pick for the Spurs since
Tim Duncan.
Who, and then the one before that was David Robinson. Yep. So all signs point to you're going to be happy about this, San Antonio fans. But what I will say is I don't think that Wembanyama is the greatest prospect we've ever seen. This stuff happens. When Sean Bradley came out, this is an old one, so some of you younger kids might not. You might have to follow along with me here for a second. When Sean Bradley was in the NBA draft, they were telling stories about how this 7'6" guy was so athletic he could hit a curveball while water skiing. What any of that has to do with playing in the NBA, your guess is as good as mine. But people said it, and other people bought it. These things come out when you see these guys who are freakishly tall, and he does that one-legged, he does that 3-point floater, and it looks so cool. Let's not forget that he can also take a charge from a stiff breeze. You know, if you leave the door open in the gym, you know, it's Wembanyama's gonna be able to draw a charge on it. But you know, he weighs as much as James and I do at 7'3", so he's gonna have his lumps in the early going. He's gonna get muscled around, but he's gonna be just fine, just like Kevin Durant was. So that's why I make that, in my opinion, the best. If you want to make a correspondence or whatever comparison, I think look at Kevin Durant's trajectory. And I think Victor will probably be looking at something for that. I just don't see him being able to put on the kind of bulk that he's going to need to put on to really bang with the big guys in the paint. So
he's got a slender frame.
Yeah, he's probably going to be more of a touch finesse player, but he's got athletic ability to do all of those things. So I think he's going to be, but then again, remember Kristaps Porzingis was going to be a unicorn too, guys. Like, don't forget, like, we'll see. But I, for one, am pumped that he's going to the Spurs of all places.
So excited. That's awesome.
I would have loved. Go ahead.
I don't think they have as much talent as some of the other teams, but to give Pop, your conspiracy theorists are going to be out in full force tonight. To give Popovich Victor Wembanyama at the twilight of his coaching career is all like that's awesome. Now roster wise, Kev, let's I got their roster pulled up. That's what I was doing. There's a lot to be desired here, man. Keldon Johnson led them in points last year. Devin Vassell was second. Trey Jones is on that team. They had Jeremy Sochan. He's famous for one-handed free throws. Doug McDermott's on that team.
Hey, Doug McBuckets. You said it wrong, sir.
Dougie McBuckets. I didn't realize. From a Okay, so Keldon Johnson's young, 23 years old, out of Kentucky. He's in his next year, will be his 5th year. He averaged 22 points a game last year, 45% from the field, 33 from 3. So he's a good young piece. That's great. Devin Vassell is too. I thought Vassell was too. He's out of Florida State. And he's on his 3rd year, so his will be 4th next year. He averaged 18.5 on 44%, 39% from 3.
Keldon Johnson, but
Keldon. I may have said Calvin Johnson.
Almost the same guy, Keldon Johnson. Yeah, you know.
So I only have
might
one
be
screen,
a good
so
find for your fantasy basketball squad.
I'm jumping back and forth between stats and this, and I missed that.
Michael says, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet about LeBron and how he didn't watch most of his career and how he regrets it, but it's hard to see any prospect be better. I also know nothing about Wemby. Yeah, no, and
I
it's.
think
go ahead.
He's in the realm. Like, I think he's the same type of, how do I want to put this, hype, belief that he's going to be the next coming. I think he stands in that realm with LeBron on that level, don't you think? Or even similar, like, hype around him coming out.
Yeah, I do. I think it. I mean, I'm trying to think. Has there been anyone since LeBron that had this much hype? I
don't
think so.
Durant had quite a bit, but wasn't like this.
So I'm going to go ahead and say something right now that'll probably be viewed as a hot take, but everyone's going to be looking at Victor versus Chet for the Rookie of the Year race, and I think
it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be
to watch those two, especially when they play against each other.
Very similar builds.
Henderson, remember the name. Do not forget the name. People love those Thompson twins, and I love the Thompson twins. This is one of my favorite bands from the 80s.
I don't know enough about that Thompson twins. I keep hearing about them too.
Hold me now. No, different Thompson twins, equally talented, equally smart, but no, give me Scoot Henderson. If you're gonna let me call him my dark horse for Rookie of the Year, sure, I'll get away with saying that. Any other draft class, I feel like it would have been suck for Scoot, and I think that because we have the whatever LeBron said, he's not a unicorn, he's an alien or whatever. So you know what? If it was any other year but Wemby's year, people would be salivating over Scoot Henderson. So let me see.
Come on down, John. Come join us. Yes. Kev loved it. Kev's reaction was great. Man, it's fun. So let's get up. Let's just go hypotheticals here, Kev. We're going to talk a lot of draft here. So who was number 2? I want to pull. I
Charlotte. The good Charlotte Hornets.
Okay, so your top 5: Spurs, Charlotte, Portland, Houston, Detroit. Who does Scoot work in Charlotte because of what's his face? His little brother. I can't even think of his name, even though he's better. Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo. Yeah, who
John,
nowadays the kids when they're talking about Melo. Yep, it's true.
It is true.
The Spurs are that international team. It's fit, but this is, again, those tinfoil hat wearing cats are going to say, "Wow, the Spurs got it." When the year the international guy is the number 1 overall guy, just so happens to go to the Spurs. But David Stern's not here anymore, folks.
Nope. So let's
where
go.
Will Scoot fall to 3? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, just does he not? So that leaves them with
Portland. Oh God, no. That doesn't work either.
I know. That's really bad. All that's bad for.
They might trick themselves into thinking
the Hornets might. The Hornets might take him and just try to figure it out. Because LaMelo definitely. Man, that's so true. Can he play off the ball? Can Scoot play off the ball? I don't know enough about him.
We're gonna have to dive in and fall.
Listen, the one game I watched him live. Him and Terry Rozier were the best 2 players in basketball, and he definitely could play off ball that game. So.
LaMelo.
My guess is they would take him too, which leaves Portland in a really interesting, probably good spot because you can get the kid from Alabama or you can get one of the twins, depending on what your needs are.
Tell you what, speaking of teams that should have lost more, I am heartbroken that the Indiana Pacers are sitting at 7.
9 should have lost more. We talked about it. think the first week of the show we talked about the Jazz winning too much. They might have been 2-0.
They just kept doing it all the way up and almost through the All-Star break. They kept doing it.
That's a tough break for Detroit because I think there's a consensus top 4 right now, right? You got Wemby, the Twins,
Scoot,
Brandon Miller. All right, so there's a
Brandon
5.
might be ahead of one of the Twins. I don't know. I don't think.
So I guess there's probably a top.
Most
so
boards I see have Amon above Asor. So I've seen Asor like.
I haven't watched them at all. Have you?
7th.
Have you watched them all?
Not recently, like not in their this past season, nothing more than just highlights. I haven't sat down and watched tapes of either Twins yet, but
I haven't seen them. I have watched the full game of Wemby. I did watch that one day. Obviously watched plenty of Brandon Miller. He's really, really good. Have not watched Scoot. I know you watched a little bit of him. Yeah, we'll do a full breakdown at some point on those guys. We'll wait till probably after the playoffs and all that.
Yeah, you might get a little flavor this Thursday at 9, but it'll probably be a lot more of the NBA
back at our normal
playoffs.
Time.
Back at our normal time. You get 2 episodes of The Bounce this week, aren't you lucky? Yes, sons. Never mind. What was that? So this has been what else is? I mean, just a while. What were you going to say? Because I'm just still trying to figure out what's the next shock from the top 10 that we should talk about, or at least top 5.
Magic get 2 picks in the top 11 to add to a very young core, which is great for them.
Yeah, because they get a little
terrible. Get a little luxury there. Mavericks tank. They're wearing a 10th place. They didn't lose their pick, so obviously they need all kinds of help. So that's good for them. Wizards just get to probably stay in purgatory at 8. Thunder getting 12 kind of sucks. Thunder would have been they obviously had one of the worst odds, but it'd been really fun to see them pop up somewhere. Another team we talked about tanking, the Raptors didn't do it enough.
No, what did they end up with? 13?
13.
Very
Pelicans
back end. Yeah, Pelicans at the very end. Yeah, I don't know what the Raptors are going to do sitting there, but hopefully they
I don't know,
get more production out of the guys that are already there, because I don't see the moves that they're going to make. But man, I am heartbroken. As a Pacers fan, I didn't want much. I just wanted, slide up to 4, because you had the graphic pulled up. They weren't eligible, I think, for 5 or 6. It's so some of this stuff, I will admit, does not make sense to me when I look at the draft lottery odds. It was shaped like a letter N or something. There were certain positions where there was no, the Pacers had a 0% chance of getting the 5th or the 6th pick, and so it was almost one of those things where I was just, all we could do was fall, and I'm very glad that they didn't fall, at least. What were you saying?
So I don't know how they do these calculations. However, everybody has a chance at the top 4. Okay, so all 14 lottery teams had a chance at the top 4. After the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is when they start dropping. So the Magic couldn't end up with the 5th pick. They could end up with the 1 through 4 or 6 through 10. Pacers couldn't have the 5th or 6th, but could have 7 through 11. Wizards could have 8 through 12, but couldn't have 5, 6, 7. So there's a gap there. So they all get a chance at the top 4. However, you start losing ones in the middle, and the odds get real. That's how they factor in. Like, the Pistons couldn't be lower than 5. Rockets couldn't be lower than 6. Spurs couldn't be lower than 7. So those odds start to shift. Is what that is. That makes sense.
A little overcomplicated at best.
Very there's a lot of math in this, and I'm not very mathy.
I don't want to math. Unless it's counting 50 pieces from Jason Tatum or whoever it's going to be
he was so good
in the conference finals, baby.
Speaking of, we have the conference finals beginning tonight. Western Conference Finals. Lakers, Nuggets. My Nugs. Kev. Make your prediction tonight. You don't have to pick the series. Let's pick the night. It's in Denver.
Game 1 prediction game in Denver. Chat, get in here too. Let us know who you think's going to win. I really want to pick Denver at home because that's the logical, like that's the play that makes sense. But it feels like the Lakers will win this game, and then they will lose 2 in a row and give home court advantage right back. That just feels like a very Lakers thing to do, right? So I'm gonna go with John. I'm gonna go with the Nuggets, but I feel like the Lakers are gonna bust us here.
And no, the Nugs. It's always been the Nugs, man. Since December, it's been the Nugs.
Y'all know what I want. I want the epic battle for 18. We're this close now. I hate to do it.
You're all about it.
I hate to just cast aside the Nuggets when they've gotten this far, but I'm no longer like most of the season. I've been like, yes, it's going to be the Nuggets. It's their year. We need to see it. But no, now, especially if if it has to be Nuggets and Heat then, because I do not. At this point, as long as they're tied at 17, I don't want to see the Celtics or the Lakers play anyone else in the finals. This is a Highlander situation. There can only be one. I want to see them play for first place in franchise history. I don't want to see, the Celtics Warriors round 2 or something. It just won't feel the same. It might make me feel like the NBA is a little rigged if it happens, but it might be just a beautiful coincidence.
Right. They did just give Wemby to San Antonio. There's going to be all kinds of conspiracy theorists out tonight.
Especially if the Lakers go ahead and win tonight. You just look out. Just go ahead and stay off Twitter, friends.
Oh, I can't. This is going to be a great game. I'm so excited for this.
The team that will win the finals is only halfway.
It's kind of wild.
That seems insane.
It's pretty wild. It is wild. Lakers coming off. They won 6. Both of them had pretty good rest. Yeah, nobody's out. This is going to be fun. But Nugs, it's always been the Nugs.
Yeah, I won't disagree. We'll get the Nugs going. John says Nuggets by 1 million. Oh, I like this question from John. He reminds us that this is a bubble rematch. What do you think is different and similar to the 2020 matchups? Well, the number one and most obvious thing I will just go ahead and say is that there's actually going to be home court advantage this time. So that I think will be a big determining factor that we didn't have to deal with last time. But what about you, James? What do you think?
Home court advantage is big. I think the Joker is much better. Obviously, for the first time since the bubble, the Nuggets are healthy. Jamal Murray. Did he tear his ACL in that series?
I don't remember if it was it in that series?
I don't know. Let me look that up.
I do not remember, to be honest. But yeah, was it it was the Nuggets series, right? Where was it in the finals when Anthony Davis hit the big 3? Maybe it was in the finals when he hit the game-winning 3.
Let's see.
That's one of my more memorable moments.
Murray indefinitely. When was this? This was.
Other than that, it's interesting how roster-wise, I think the Lakers are the team clearly that are the most different.
No, it was after. It was the start of that next season. But that was a weird one where it started. Coming off the bubble when it started not too long after.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so I think this time, the difference will be in the health and in the way the rosters are built. The Celtics, their 2 stars are 2 years wiser. Listen, Jason Tatum scored 51 points in Game 7. To quote Johnny NFL, just imagine how many points Jason Tatum would have scored if he were an alpha like Colin Cowherd needed him to be. If he were only an alpha male, dude, he'd have scored 75 points against the Sixers in that game. Just unbelievable.
John, I think it was this. Yeah, it wasn't the bubble. It was the spring after he tore it in April. The spring after the bubble. I thought he tore it during the bubble for some reason. But that makes sense because he tore it that spring and then missed that playoffs. He missed it was a whole weird. Yeah, because he missed the next playoffs too. He would have missed it was all goofy with him.
Yeah, it's been rough for Jamal. But yeah, as John also points out, 4th conference final. That's Tatum, I assume, right? At 25? Or is he take it to 4 conference? Who's 4th conference finals of his career at 25? I believe that's.
Is he talking Tatum?
I believe so. but I don't have it in front of me. Nice. Stumped the.
Let's look. Let's take a gander. We have
stumped the show.
Is he? Because they made it last year. This year would be 2.
But other than that, yeah, while he's looking into that, I think. Well, the other that my big difference. I don't think Miami and LA are going to be the 2 teams that make it out. Yep, 5 and 7 years for Boston. 4
well, then
wow.
Yep, because then he had. Then there was the bubble. Yeah, God, he's good. He is only 25. My God, he's so good.
And I'm never going to stop. Listen, we all have bad takes, but that one, whatever came out of Colin Cowherd's mouth about trading Jaylen Brown for Andrew Wiggins, and I mean, I get it. We're all part of this game, so we all sometimes maybe say something we don't necessarily believe for the sake of getting some attention. But by God, dude, you're supposed to present yourself as an expert. Maybe just bring knowledgeable NBA guys like James and myself, who I don't know, have worked in the business for years, been paid to officiate games, coach games, all kinds of stuff. Maybe just call one of those guys over instead of saying something like, "Oh, you should trade Jaylen Brown and Malcolm Brogdon for Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole straight up, and the math will just work somehow miraculously because, that's how the math will work."
Baby.
Never going to let that one go, Colin. That better be on where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong for the next 5 years. You better be bringing that up every week. And again, for the 57th week in a row, I suggested that the Celtics should break up Tatum and Brown. Mel Kiper's never given a take that bad. Sorry. I'm going to back up. Just Mel Kiper's out here catching strays on a basketball show.
Right. Wemby had 22 today, had 14 in the fourth quarter.
Mr. Wemby. So what do you think? Are there any chances? Is there any scenario where the Spurs do not take Victor? Yep,
absolutely not.
Solve that one.
Any betting sites that have betting odds, don't bet them. Completely ignore. Don't. Just
save your money. Just go buy an ice cream.
Save your money. Don't, because it's going to be like negative $1 billion. Somebody's going to be like, "Oh, I hear Scoot's up." It's going to be like the Will Levis goes first in the NFL draft, and his odds are going to get wildly weird. People are going to start betting. Don't. If you're thinking about doing that, just light your money on fire. Go start a fire in the backyard. Grab a beer.
Just give it to me. Just donate.
Sit around your money on fire. It's cool.
We'll start a business Venmo. You can just donate it to buy.
Just a random scheduling thing. Oh, I believe the shot clocks are not working in Denver. They are not. Holy crap!
Oh, what?
They have them in the corners. They just showed it. I've got the game up in front of me.
The
shot clocks aren't working, so they've got them rolled out in the corners. That is wild. That's gonna suck. It was in the bottom right corner of the court from the screen.
No way.
It's on a little roller down there. Yeah, none of the shot clocks are on. How does that happen? It is a playoff game. How does that happen?
Who's running the show here? Vince McMahon? Like, what's going on here? They didn't check the lights.
Yeah, they got them on carts. The ones in front of the Nuggets bench, there's all kinds of people over there. You can't have that there. Yeah, they're running cords over to it and stuff. Oh my God!
Is this? I had to pull it up.
This is real life.
It's ridiculous.
It's real life, man. One's in the bottom right and one's in the top left of the court. So one's in front of the Nuggets bench and the other one's on the other side.
Why did it take me to this? You know what? I know we're on YouTube right now, but we're not on YouTube TV. I am very disappointed with the fact that I can't just pull up. There we go. I'm getting something here.
I can't believe that's happening. That's sick. So in the top left, the bench has got to be careful not to say. What about people walking on the bottom? Oh, that's crazy, man.
Have you? I don't think I've ever seen that where a shot clock is just not working.
I have at Indiana State practice where I worked at it and we had to do it.
That would make a little more sense. Yeah.
I've never seen it in an NBA game, and I absolutely have never seen it in an NBA playoff game. Lakers go Schroeder out the gate.
Yep, Schroeder's me. Oh wow, running all over the place on defense on that possession. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think we're on different speeds too, so we're watching the game at different times. Yep. But I think, we've only got a few more minutes here. We got to get on out of here to get them set up.
Kev, do you have any
roughness? What do you got?
I'm gonna put you on the spot one last time before we get on out and let those guys roll. Do you have any predictions for the Heat Celtics game tomorrow night?
The Heat Celtics game, you know, I think it's going to be an absolute dogfight.
Oh,
I
it's gonna
would
be
not be
mean.
surprised if the Heat take that one. Now, don't mistake this well-made Heat hat that I'm wearing. Don't mistake me for a
I
Heat
love that. It's a
fan.
nice hat.
I'm actually a Pacers fan. You can't. The flag is well hidden behind me. Sorry, I guess you just can't see it today. But you can see. There we go. Oh wait, there we go.
It's
Actually,
back
a
there.
Pacers fan here. All right. So, I think the Celtics have had a problem at times of showing up and being consistent. I don't think game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be a situation where they will be caught off guard by Miami. So give me the Celtics in a hard-fought game, but I now that we're here, man, it's anybody's game, and
It's
I'm not
time.
confident until we've watched at least one game be played in each series. I'm not super confident with any predictions yet because it's been a while since we've seen any of these teams playing each other, and it, it's playoff Jimmy and the Miami Heat. So
It
I
is.
think it should be Boston, but who's to say Jason Tatum doesn't go on another cold streak randomly to start game 1 after dropping 50 in a game 7? So maybe it's a perfect storm for Miami to steal one on the road. What do you think?
I love the Heat tomorrow. I really do. I don't know why. It's probably me being dumb. I love Jimmy buckets tomorrow.
No, I think I think there's a lot of potential there for them to steal one on the road.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
But I will say this: what do you think about the most recent firing? We'll touch on this again, of course, more in depth on Thursday. But Doc Rivers is gone.
Pretty wild, man. Do I disagree with this one? I actually don't. I think Philly needs some changes.
Agreed.
We also talked about with Monty, you can't just get waxed out of the playoffs like that. Now, Monty had happened back-to-back years. Doc, and they haven't made it out. They haven't made it to the Eastern Conference Finals in this 3 years. And they had an MVP guy this year, and
not to mention the series, the number of times they've had a series lead and gone on to lose it, and the number of just game 7 losses. And
wow, Denver's playing so much harder right now. I don't know how much you're paying attention to this.
Oh, I'm not. It was making the stream choppy on mine, so I couldn't watch them both.
That possession alone, Joker had 2 offensive rebounds. It's
uh-oh.
We'll end it with that, Kev. It's obviously this will be a fun game to watch, but the league's ruthless. The NFL is the same way with the NBA. Like, it's just, you got to win, man, and you not only do you have to win, you got to win in the playoffs.
Yeah, and these first games are so important. You can't come out flat. And I was worried that the Celtics would do it. I didn't really think the Lakers would have that problem. I expected the Lakers to have at least one stinker, to be honest. Like, I expect them to lose by 20 plus points in at least one game in the Eastern Conference Final or Western Conference Finals.
They're down 7 right now, and the Nuggets look so much. They got way more fire to them. They're cutting better. Obviously, that's what they do. But
yeah,
no, he's right.
He's right about that lack of size.
Joker's looked good against Anthony Davis so far too. Also, one thing I've noticed here is the Nuggets are not afraid to attack the rim. Seemed like the Warriors were afraid to attack the rim because AD was blocking everything. Michael Porter Jr.'s gone in there. Murray's gone. Joker's got 2 offensive rebounds down there.
And to think about it, it's not that Denver doesn't have shooters, but they don't have the reliable. I mean, they don't have the greatest shooter of all time, and then Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole around. Like, they just don't have
this year, Jordan Poole, but
even though Jordan Poole is not Jordan Poole, like they don't even really necessarily have, they don't have anything that's much better than that out there. They don't have just a dominant. They don't have a lot of 3-point options. So I think their offense is built for them to get points inside the paint and inside the 3-point line, especially. So I do think that they'll be a little more confident and just, we're going to be who we are. We don't have that necessarily as an option. KCP might hit some open threes, but what just happened there?
Joker made a hell of a pass, and Michael Porter Jr. threw down a monster dunk. They fouled him, though they were holding him the whole time as he was dunking. Well,
it looks like we called another one. So far, so good. Things are looking great. Well, before we get out of here, James, where can the folks find you? And do you have any parting thoughts about the lottery of the playoffs?
Congratulations, Pop, on one hell of a Christmas gift. You get Christmas early for the rest of your career. That's going to be – I don't think Pop will be retiring anytime soon now. They're going to have to get some more talent, but that's going to be fun. You know where I'm everywhere, Schmitz06 on socials. It was always the Nugs, and we'll be back here Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. Back at our normal time this week.
Yes,
absolutely. Or Thursday night.
Yep, I was going to say, Thursday at 9. Yep. We do have programming on Wednesday, though. We have shows actually every night the rest of the week. So Necessary Roughness is up in about 5 minutes. You'll check out Michael, I believe, and John and Nick. And I think they have a guest, a very special
They do,
guest.
yes, they do.
You might want to go check that out and see what that's all about. And then we will have Dan and Trevor back on Wednesday night, another Damn Fantasy podcast. James and I will be back here for another episode of The Bounce Thursday at 9. And we will have the Rumbles of Red, where I believe Trevor will be doing some more best ball drafts. It is the summer of best ball after all. And there may just be an episode of Late Night Bites or Biting Early slipped in there as well. So the best way to make sure you don't miss any of it would probably be to subscribe, click that notification bell. And go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Bite Size Sports. And until then, we hope you have a great rest of the night, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.